The opening of the new court chamber at the Sir Llewellyn Moore Judicial Complex will help provide speedier and fair administration of justice, says Attorney General Vincent Byron Jr. The new court chamber was opened early this week and has been hailed by judicial officials as a welcome addition to the justice system of St. Kitts and Nevis. Chief Justice Janice Pereira commended the government for realizing the new court chamber.
To my mind, it demonstrates a clear appreciation of the value and importance of a well-functioning judicial branch. A strong and vibrant judiciary forms the bedrock of our democracies and indeed our economies. I am constrained to make special mention of the Honorable Attorney General, Mr. Vincent Byron, who has worked tirelessly in seemingly himself attending to every minute detail and for keeping fully abreast of the progress of works. We thank you, Honorable Attorney General.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris asserted that the new High Court chamber represents part of his government's good governance agenda.
I want to congratulate the people of St. Kitts and Nevis and the fact that we now have a second High Court sitting here at the Sir Llewellyn Moore Judicial and Legal Complex. This court, as we have heard this morning, will add to the swifter and more efficient delivery of justice to all the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, will facilitate the speed up of both civil and criminal matters. And importantly, this has now become or has been described as a modern court with all the associated facilities. And in that regard, I am happy as the leader of the Team Unity Administration to have a critical element of the justice system being enhanced for the wider good of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. This then is a significant development for us as a government, a significant development for democracy. As the Chief Justice has said this morning, this court will add significantly to the enhancement of democracy in the Federation.
Also addressing the special sitting of the High Court to mark the opening of the new court chamber were Attorney Keisha Spence, representing the St. Kitts Nevis Bar Association, and resident Judge Trevor Ward. Ms. Spence said the new High Court chamber will help the speedy dispensation of criminal matters and ease the workload of the single judge who now sits in the circuit. She said they look forward to the welcoming of a second judge, the strengthening of the requisite support staff, and the separation of the land registry from the High Court registry. A minute's silence was observed in honor of former Governor Sir Probin Innes, who was also a legal practitioner. Sir Probin died on the weekend. Andre Huey, Skn Newsline. If everyday low prices and quality products matter to you, then come to Cost You Less on Bush Road, number 72, St. Martin. At Cost You Less, you can buy the highest quality food and household products, frozen foods, dairy products, snacks, laundry and cleaning products, housewares, and just about every other thing under the sun. Our customer service is just simply the best. St. Kitts Nevis shoppers, visit www.costyouLess.com or visit our store on St. Martin and we'll help you ship your items. Cost You Less, your best value warehouse store.
St. Martin, 6-time Grammy Award winner Israel and New Breed will be on our island April 8, 2017 for one night only. On Saturday, April 8, 2017, all roads lead to Festival Village, where the sounds of Israel come alive.
The tickets are $30 for adults and $15 for children under 13 and are available from Nature's Discount, Family Bookstore, Van Dorperdine, Jeffrey's Auto Supplies, and Orleans Beauty Cosmetics on the front side. At the gates, it's $40 for adults and $20 for children.
Starting time, 7:30. Sharp.
This event is a production of CFC Kingdom Promotions.
Israel and New Breed, live on St. Martin. You can't miss this.
At Nagico, the things that matter to you matter to us. Like your boat when you're at sea and you get away from everything. Your home and the security of your daughter's things. and the car that you've had for too long. But after all these years, you just can't let go. At Magico, we're about much more than just insurance. We're about the big things and the small things that mean everything.
Why read the news when you can watch it? Introducing Skn Newsline, the Federation's only online TV news platform. Skn Newsline is an online TV news platform covering news in St. Kitts and Nevis. You can watch Skn Newsline on our website, www.sknnewsline.com, or Facebook page at www.fb.com/SKN Newsline. SKN Newsline, your world, your news.
Former Governor General of St. Kitts and Nevis, Sir Cuthbert Montreville Sebastian, has died. Sir Cuthbert died on Saturday at the age of 95, just days after the burial of former Governor Sir Probin Innes. Sir Cuthbert served as the second Governor General of St. Kitts and Nevis from 1996 to 2013. He was Chief Medical Officer of St. Kitts and Nevis from 1980 to 1983. From 1962 to 1966, he pursued training at the Dundee Royal Infirmary, Scotland, in obstetrics and gynecology. Sir Cuthbert was a rear gunner during World War II in the Royal Canadian Air Force, Captain Surgeon in the St. Kitts and Nevis Defence Force, local physician to His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales, Prince Charles, when His Highness visited St. Kitts in 1973. Sebastian received the Auxiliary Forces Efficiency Decoration and was made an Officer of the Order of the British Empire, OBE, Civil Division, from Queen Elizabeth II in 1969. He was knighted as a Knight Grand Cross of the Most Distinguished Order of St. Michael and St. George in 1996, and was made a Knight Grace of the Most Venerable Order of St. John of Jerusalem. Dalhousie University, where he studied medicine, honored him with an honorary doctorate of laws in 1998, and in 2005 he received an honorary doctorate from Mount Allison University. In 2002 he received an honorary fellowship of the Royal College of Surgeons of Edinburgh in Scotland for his outstanding career and service to humanity in the field of medicine. Prior to the Edinburgh Award, he received an FRCS in London. In 2005, the College of Arms granted him his personal coat of arms. Reporting for SKN Newsline, I'm Tony Frederick Armstrong.
It was a send-off apt for a legend. Hundreds came out to bid farewell to former Governor of the Associated State of St. Kitts, Nevis and Anguilla, Sir Probin Ellsworth Innes, at a state funeral on Thursday at the Wesley Methodist Church, Bastyr, with full military honors. The day was declared a half-holiday so many could pay their final respects to a man hailed as a historian, a statesman, and a beloved son of the soil. Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris said Sir Probin made significant contributions to the nation, not for recognition, but for love of country. Tributes from near and far asserts him as a patriotic citizen whose value was immense to the development of the nation. Opposition leader Dr. Denzil Douglas said Sir Probin played a critical role in the development of the country at very critical periods in critical development and historical development. His contribution was not only on a national level but also in the church community, particularly the Methodist Church, which he served as a lay preacher. Sir Probin also served at the Brimstone Hill Heritage Society, and tributes at the funeral came from Bishop Otto Wade of the Methodist Church, Val Henry, Mr. Larry Harmony from the Brimstone Hill Society, the St. Kitts Circuit Choir, and the Epsworth Maurice Hillier Memorial Junior School. Hundreds of people lined the streets of Bastyr as the funeral procession drove slowly through to Springfield Cemetery. Many wanted to get a final glimpse as the body of the late former governor was carried through his beloved city for the final time to his resting place. A city Sir Probin knew all too well of its history and development, having written about it in his now acclaimed history book, Historic Bastyr. He was a proponent of preserving the nation's history while learning valuable lessons from our past so as not to repeat them. Sir Probin died on Sunday, March 12th at the JNF Hospital in Bastyr at the age of 80. Reporting for Skn Newsline, I'm Andre Huey.
Leader of the People's Labour Party, Dr. Timothy Harris, has slammed his detractors and members of his party who have been critical of his leadership, even as the party elected a new executive at its inaugural convention on Saturday. In the days leading up to the convention, Deputy Leader Sam Condor was critical of the event being held on the weekend, citing that if a new executive was elected and the current executive booted out, they would pursue legal action. But at Saturday's convention held at the Tabernacle Recreational Grounds, the PLP leader said the hosting of the national convention fell in line with the party's constitution and he chided the defecting members for not showing up.
We gave every member notice of this convention in accordance with the Constitution which we had in 2013. All, I repeat, all of our founding members and executive members were notified way back in February of this convention. They were made aware, and they ought to have known, that the party's constitution, which one of our founders, a lawyer, wrote himself, required us to hold the convention in March.
Dr. Harris was returned as National Party leader. Senator Keela Byron Nisbet was elected the new National Deputy Leader. Other appointments include Warren Thompson as National Chairman, Craig Tuckett returned as National Deputy Chairman, Matilda Williams, the new National Secretary, Christophe Griot as Deputy Secretary, Victor Earle as Treasurer, Claudette Thompson as Deputy Treasurer, and Alexis Nisbet as the National Party Organizer. Sonia Henry and Tashana Norford will serve as the representative of the women's arm of the party, while Manassas Huggins and Damian Weeks will serve as representatives of the youth arm. Donald Keynes and Heston Ham were elected to serve as National Party trustees. The PLP leader reiterated allegations that those within the party who are critical of his leadership were only doing so because he would not give in to their request to pay them exorbitant sums of money from public coffers.
So when you hear a man comes to the party and he says, I want a consultancy now to do work in the Ministry of Health, but it gonna cost you, you know. It gonna cost you near $500,000 in one blow. More than $500,000 in one blow to do a consultancy in the Ministry of Health. I have to say, Lord, not just so. Not just so. We have to ask a question. And that is why we say that some of these people want to play bingo with the National Treasury. And I, as a finance minister, have to say, well, if you get B, and you get the I, and you get the N, and you get the G, you're not going to get the O.
Though not mentioning any names, these allegations were also made earlier this year at a national town hall meeting by Dr. Harris and were probably aimed at former press secretary and one of the founding members of the PLP, Clecton Phillip, who has since become an avowed critic of the Prime Minister. The other staunch critic is now former party chairman Douglas Watley. Dr. Harris declared that the PLP would remain a viable partner in the Team Unity coalition and the St. Kitts and Nevis political landscape, despite opposition from his detractors.
Having chosen to opt out, they should not now stand in the way of the new group of persons inspired and courageous enough to say forward on with the PLP and forward on with Team Unity.
The inaugural event was attended by hundreds of party members and supporters, including Deputy Prime Minister Sean Richards, Senior Minister and Premier of Nevis Vance Amory, other members of the Federal Cabinet and members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps. The PLP, launched in June 2013, is one of three political parties that make up the Team Unity government. The other two being the People's Action Movement of St. Kitts and the Nevis-based Concerned Citizens Movement. We'll have more reports on the convention in subsequent news items. Reporting for Skn Newsline, I'm Tony Frederick Armstrong.
Yeah! Oh yeah! Sha-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Oh yeah! Let's go! Everybody up inside the Fed. Cup full of rum and we soaking wet. They asking what time we going on, we don't know yet. Cause I see a girl I want inside this vet. And the way she whining, she moving it timing, she waistline exciting. Girl, where you been hiding? Yeah. And I want a piece of your eye, darling. So I come in up from behind and let me wine on your bumper, baby. Let me wine on it. Give me a taste of your bumper, baby. Let me sample it. Just let me wine on your bumper, baby. Let me wine on it. Give me a taste of your bumper, baby. Let me sample it.
Look trouble, look trouble, look trouble in the dance. I tell you, look trouble, look trouble, look trouble in the jam. My gosh, look trouble, look trouble, look trouble in the dance. I tell you, look trouble, look trouble, look trouble in the jam. Let the trumpet sing. Bam, babadoo, bam, bam, bada. What we saying is, yo, give me rhythm.
Caribbean Embroidery is a professional embroidery, screen print, and graphics design studio in St. Martin. We produce high-quality embroidery and screen printing projects using nothing but the finest material to ensure a lasting impression on your corporate and marketing wear. All work is produced using top-brand clothing lines. Whether for personal or corporate use, we deliver a product you are proud to wear. Caribbean Embroidery in Phillipsburg, St. Martin. Visit our website www.caribbeanembroidery.com. The Dr. William Connor Primary School became the second school in the history of the Rams Primary School Championships to win back-to-back titles after winning the competition on the weekend at the Kim Collins Athletic Stadium. With an impressive 17 gold medals, 8 more than their closest competitor, Deer Bay Primary School, the Dr. William Connor Primary School recorded the largest victory margin in the history of the competition. School teacher Miss Jessica Jeffers credited the school's resilience to defend the title and believes they can dominate the competition for another 5 years.
Hard work, skills, strategies, and God. I know I placed him last, but he really should be first, but that's what we did.
Talk about the quality athletes that you have and how long the school will be able to maintain them.
We've been training for a while, looking at the different categories for a while, and guess what? It's 5 years on a straight we are going to give them, and they're going to be shocked. I told them last year we are going to be 3-peat, but it's not going to be 3, it's going to be 5. 5 years, what's going to see?
The champions also had individual champions in the various categories. In the under-9 male category, Jerry Morrison won for the Dr. William Connor Primary School with 30 points. In the female category, under 11 age group, Adaxia Berkeley, also of the Dr. William Connor Primary School, won her category. Kaima Rollins of the Dr. William Connor Primary School was runner-up in the under 13 female. Other individual category winners include Jaquil Henderson of the Sandy Point Primary School, Niran Ward from the Deer Bay Primary School in the male under 13, Deschanel Richardson in the female under 9 category from the Deer Bay Primary School, and Lanivia Nathan of the Tyrrell Williams Primary School in the female under 13 category. The top 6 schools in the competition this year are, champion of course, Dr. William Connor Primary School, 17 gold medals, 4 silver and 3 bronze. Second place went to Deer Bay Primary School, a surprise to many, with 9 gold medals and 4 bronze. Third place, Sandy Point Primary School, once champions and the first team to win back-to-back titles with 6 golds, 10 silver and 12 bronze. Fourth place, Tyrrell Williams Primary School with 5 in each gold, silver and bronze medals. Fifth place went to Beach Allen Primary School with 2 gold medals, 9 silver and 4 bronze. And 6th place to the Keon Primary School with 2 gold medals, 7 silver and 3 bronze. Reporting for Skn Newsline, I'm Andre Huey. St. Kitts and Nevis is among 21 Caribbean countries named by the U.S. State Department as a haven for drug trafficking and money laundering. In a report issued this week by the U.S. State Department, it says St. Kitts and Nevis remains susceptible to corruption and money laundering because of the high volume of narcotics trafficking through the islands. The growth of its offshore sector coupled with unusually strong bank secrecy laws also remain problematic, the report added. It also slammed the country's Citizenship by Investment program as afflicted by significant deficiencies in vetting candidates and conducting due diligence on passport and citizenship recipients after they receive citizenship. Other countries from the region fingered by the report include Aruba, Cayman Islands, Barbados, Bahamas, Antigua and Barbuda, Belize, British Virgin Islands, Cuba, Curacao, Dominican Republic, Dominica, Grenada, Guyana, Haiti, Jamaica, St. Martin, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Suriname, and Trinidad and Tobago. Taking a look at those listed from the OACS, in Antigua, the report says that money laundering, narcotics trafficking, gaming, and firearms trafficking are major sources of illicit funds in Antigua and Barbuda. It added that funds are laundered through the purchase of real estate, vehicles, vessels, and jewelry, as well as through a variety of businesses. The State Department also slammed the country's Citizenship by Investment Program, CIP, calling it among the most lax in the world. For the BVI, the U.S. report says potential misuse of BVI corporate vehicles remains a concern since criminal proceeds laundered in the BVI derive primarily from domestic criminal activity and narcotics trafficking. In the Commonwealth of Dominica, the U.S. says money laundering cases involve external proceeds from the fraudulent investment schemes, advance fee fraud schemes, and the placement of euros related to the questionable activities conducted in other surrounding jurisdictions. The State Department report also said domestic money laundering is chiefly linked to narcotics activities, while slamming the country's Citizenship by Investment Program as vulnerable, making it susceptible to abuse by criminal actors. In Grenada, the U.S. government says money laundering is primarily connected to smuggling and narcotics trafficking by local organized crime rings. Illegal proceeds are laundered through a variety of businesses as well as through the purchase of real estate, boats, jewelry, and cars. Money laundering in St. Lucia, according to the U.S. government, is linked primarily to drug trafficking. Illicit drug trafficking by organized crime rings and the laundering of drug proceeds by domestic and foreign criminal elements remain serious problems for St. Lucia. It is believed financial institutions unwittingly engage in currency transactions involving international narcotics trafficking proceeds, the State Department report said. The U.S. said St. Vincent and the Grenadines remains vulnerable to money laundering and other financial crimes as a result of drug trafficking and its offshore financial sector. The set of islands remains a small but active offshore financial center with a relatively large number of IBCs. United States currency is often smuggled into the country via couriers, go-fast vessels on yachts, the State Department report said, while added that money laundering on the island is primarily affiliated with the production and trafficking of marijuana in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as well as the trafficking of other narcotics from within the Caribbean region. Andre Huey, Skn Newsline.